How's everybody going today? Good. Is this like the best state in Australia? Yes. Beautiful one day, perfect the next. Is that how it goes? Yes. Actually, I just flew up from Melbourne, so it's always great coming here to Queensland. I think people are prettier up here. I think people have a lot more energy, full of a lot more vitality. Who agrees with that? Yes. Yeah? Melbourne, greatest thing about Melbourne, the best thing to ever come out of Melbourne is what? You? The Hume Highway, right? So all the way here. So I'd like to thank you for taking a day off in paradise to come here today to the Think and Grow Rich seminar. Who's been to one of our events before? Enjoyed it? Have enjoyed it this weekend? Especially now that you're all on film, which is fantastic. So some of you will watch this and go, oh, I should have put my head like this, or I should have done the back of that. So my name is Lou Harty, and today I'm going to present for you a really exciting trading program. But I'm not going to be doing it alone. I'm going to be sharing it with a really good friend of mine. And it's taken a lot of effort to actually remove him from his busy schedule to come up and speak alongside me today. His name is Kel Butcher. So who here is actually trading anything? Trading anything, excellent. So who here looks like they want to get into trading? Who here believes that you can make a lot of money trading? Exactly. So you need to ask yourself, if you know that people can already make a lot of money trading, then why aren't you trading yourself? Now, if you look at Robert Kiyosaki's business model, so what do we have? We have property, we have trading, we have business, right? So our company endorses financial education in order for you to make a commitment to yourself, make a decision, get educated, take action and go for it. All agree? Right, so some of you in this room may have already taken some sort of action in your life towards your own financial future. But my presentation today is not about me, or it's not about Forex, the product, or the company. This is about you and what you want to do with your life. And as I go through it, I'll share with you my experience. And honestly, guys, I'm no different to you. As Eric said, I was just sitting there in a seminar one weekend with Jamie and probably about 400 or 500 other people. And, you know, when you have that aha moment and you go, actually, I think I could do this. And this was just one of the strategies I did. So today what we'll go through is you're going to learn how to generate multiple streams of income just from trading. Now, we'll go through trading Forex, which is currency, foreign exchange, futures, and then I'll bring Kel Butcher up and he can talk to you about the results that we've had with the Forex program. Now, he's one of our master traders and calls all the signals for you on your behalf. Now, some of you, who here, hands up, that are lazy? Excellent. We all are. All of you should have had your hands up at some point. Who here is time poor? Well, you wouldn't time poor. So you need more time in your day, right? Now, these programs are fantastic for that. Lazy people and people that are time poor. Because we have programs where the signals are SMS'd or emailed directly to you and placed on your behalf through a subscription fee. And we'll go through that as well. So the things we're going to cover is we're going to go through currency trading, what it is. I'm going to introduce you to the basics of Forex, how much money that you can make. Who wants to make a lot of money trading? Anyone? A couple of you? The rest of you? Yeah? Okay, that's your reward, how much you can make. But I'm also going to show you the downside of how much you can lose. Who would like to know how much they're going to lose in a trade before they start trading? And that's probably the most important part, is understanding how much you can lose and really how much you can afford to lose per trade. Now, a lot of people start trading with this expectation that, whoa, I'm going to make bucket loads, sugar bag loads. And you will over time. You're not going to make it like tomorrow, next week, next month. Maybe, unless you start with a larger trading capital, then that will obviously increase that. However, for most of you that would probably start with a $5,000, $10,000 trading account, you need to look at this as a long-term goal or a long-term business, and that's how I saw it. So we'll cover risk, so reward at risk. We'll show you actually how to place a trade and how you can access our multi-trading systems. And then we'll go through, I'll bring Kel Butcher up and he'll go through the other trading instruments that we have, which is indexes and commodities. So that was me. I spent 21 and a bit years in the military, and Like Eric said, it was a brilliant job. However, I spent a lot of time away from home, from my family, and my husband also did as well. So I got to a point where I had to ask myself, is this all there is? And you know, when, you know, I'd learnt a lot. I was very highly skilled in my profession, but I couldn't actually earn any more money than what I was actually earning. Who's in a position like that? Doesn't matter how good you are, you still can't earn more money than what you currently do. So my income was capped, pretty much. Right, so I got online. Do you guys have Google up here? Yep. Excellent. Excellent. So I got online, Googled how to make money, how to get rich, how to do this and that, and all of these sites appeared. And one in particular was Jamie McIntyre's site, and it was this book, right? So I downloaded the book, I watched the DVD, and straight away I made a decision. I went, okay, this is probably the way that I could head. So I paid out, back then it was about $4,000 or $5,000. I took action because of my burning desire, which you've learned about today, is one of the Napoleon Hill principles. I had a very strong burning desire to make a bucket load of money. Who here wants to make a bucket load of money? Excellent. Who wants big results, massive big results? Who wants small results? No one. I wanted big results. Now, being in the military, because I had a very strong sense of urgency, because in my occupation back then, you know, the consequences were, you may not come home. And that was a very real, true fact for me and for the people that I worked with. So I went, okay, I've only got about 40, 50 years left on this earth. I better hurry up and get a wiggle on, right? Because it's true. So what I did is I set myself a short-term goal. And the short-term goal was downloading the DVD, watching it, and making a future plan, or preparing my future, based off then longer-term goals. So I am actually living what I dreamt of or visioned 5 years earlier. Does that make sense? So everything, when I was sitting back there, looking up at Jamie or looking up at one of the speakers, you know, just taking notes frantically, I went, oh, one day, well, I didn't actually say one day I want to be up here. I just sort of fell into this. But one day I want to be like him or her. And it wasn't, I didn't actually want to be like them. I just wanted to make all the money that they had. You know what I mean? I just wanted to have better choices instead of going to the ATM and going, oh, God, I've got to wait for another fortnight before I put a deposit down on a holiday, or I've got to wait for this before I've got to pay kids' school fees, I've got to do this, I've got to pay rent, blah, 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 blah. And in the end, because you don't pay yourself first, do you? No one does. We pay every Tom, Dick and Harry. We pay ourselves last. So I bugger this man, I'm paying myself first. And that's what I did. Paid myself first, and I've paid myself first ever since. So, yeah, making that decision that I actually wanted to make a lot more money because I wanted the choices that money gave me. Not necessarily the money. I wanted the choices. I wanted to be able to take my family on holidays as often as I want, spend time on my family. I wanted to retire some of my own family. Who would love to retire some of their own family? Like, so they don't have to work anymore. How cool would that be, to just go and pay your mum's mortgage off, pay your dad's car off, pay their business off, and let them just do with what they want? They're the choices that money can bring you, right? And if you look around, there's a lot of people with a lot of money in this industry. And the reason they stand up and present their information, because that was just a tool that helped them get to where they want to get to, right? I do this because I purely love this, and I purely, passionately care for people. But that's the soldier in me. My role was to train soldiers, send them abroad to look after you guys. But they always came back, and they went over there with confidence, knowing that I would bring them back safely. Does that make sense? And that's what this is about. All you got to do is just latch onto someone who's doing it really well and get them to take you with you. Yeah? And that's what I do. I'm good at latching. Right? So if you're good at anything and I want to be good at it, I'll latch on. Right? Yeah, so they were the books. They were Jamie's books that I downloaded. They were awesome, and they changed everything about my life that is true now. But one of the major things I learnt over the time, and one of the major principles of Napoleon Hill's book, is the mastermind group. That is probably the biggest part that I picked up on, apart from the burning desire and the faith to get what I wanted. It was actually modelling, finding the people that were best in the business. So we got Ida Buttrose, Dr. John DiMartini, Armin Moran, who's probably one of the most successful internet marketers on the planet, generated $80 million online. You know, I've been very fortunate to have these one-on-one sessions, weekly long sessions, hourly sessions. Whenever they spoke, I would just excuse me. You know what I mean? I would just be in their face, right? Because I wanted to know what they knew. Does that make sense? And that's what you guys are going to be. You're going to be in our face. You know, so much so when people go, oh, Jesus, I just wish they'd just bleep off. You know what I mean? Because that's what you've got to do. You've got to do everything it takes to get to where you want to get to. Because no one looks after you more than who? You! Same as your money. Learn to manage your own goddamn money. Don't give it to some other person to do it. You learn how to do it yourself. Because then the only person you can blame when you stuff it up is who? Oh! Who's ever lost money trading? Anyone? Oh, you'll experience it, don't worry about that. Right? And it's not a good feeling, but it's all about learning. It's all about learning. Right? That's what it's about. Okay, so, you know, Craig Jervis, Nick Halleck. Does anyone know Nick? He created the Sharelord program. So he's an Australian guy, also trained as a cosmonaut. Cost him like $30 million just to go there. But he's made a lot of money through property investment and trading. So I was very fortunate 3 or 4 years ago to have a whole day session. He taught me firstly how to trade options. And that was my induction into the trading world. And when I started to realise that, okay, 4 or 5% per month is good, and then it was going 8, 10, 12% per month was better, and then I saw other strategies. And as other strategies came along, that's when I picked up on them. Because I just wanted to make money faster. Who's ever been like that? Make a bit of money, and then go, oh, Jesus, there must be a faster way of doing this, right? And that's what I did. And there he is now. Lisa Carey Kenny is one of your own homegrown girls. Jamie McIntyre, he'll be here tomorrow. I had that whole rock star thing going on for him for a while. A lot to my husband's disgust, but, because he was in the car and he was on the TV, he was in every goddamn computer, there was books everywhere. My children went to his youth summit and then idolised him. Jamie McIntyre, turn that shit off. You know what I mean? But, they're good friends now, and it's because, he's very grateful as much as I am, because someone helped me along the way. Does that make sense? And it was Jamie's program. The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. He was a brilliant guy, ripped off a lot of people in the US, but now travels around and sells his story, The Wolf of Wall Street. He's making a movie, comes out next year. If you get the opportunity to see him, a remarkable broker and a remarkable man. Taught me a lot. James Schramko, Sydney-based internet marketer. Dave Loughlin, he'll be here tomorrow. He'll be talking about e-minis, trading e-minis futures. Now, I'm an e-minis addict and a Forex addict. So if you have an addictive personality, any addictive personalities here? You'll dig these trading programs, because you'll find once you start making a little bit of money, even if just your first trade is $30 or $40 or $50, you get this feeling. You do. Wait till you have it. It may even be louder, it may be less, maybe just sweet. You know what I mean? But once you start having that a couple of times a day, right, 30, 40, little 50 wins, it'll start feeling addictive. But at the same time, unless you know how to manage your risk and your psychology, you'll build up fast, you'll crash for a little bit, but then you'll learn. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off and keep going. It's like a baby. We don't go, kick them down while they've fallen over a couple of times learning to walk. You'll never walk and walk away. You'll be the same. You're just a baby that's going to learn how to trade a phenomenal system. Who believes that people are making millions on the Forex market already? Some people are making billions. Some companies are making billions. Who would be happy just making $1,000 extra a month? Yeah, of course. And then, of course, now, you guys will all have something similar. People that you want to use as role models. Right? And for me, for Forex, my first introduction to Forex was Kel Butcher. And as I said, we've been fortunate enough to have him come here today, and I'll be able to bring him up in the next 40 minutes or so. And you can ask him all the questions you want. He's a phenomenal trader and a phenomenal mentor and a really beautiful man. So you'll get to see that. There's also a beautiful man. Hands up who thinks he's a spunk. You guys put your hands down. So the reason, the other people I had were people that are role models to me. Now, my husband is also a role model, because I believe that if you're in a relationship and you've got a loving, supportive partnership who doesn't actually knock you down for doing silly things, or that'll never work, you can't do that, you're not as bright, you don't have all these degrees to do that. If you have someone who just goes, that's cool, baby, off you go, I'll pick you up if you fall over, and I'll leave you if you get rid of all my money. No, not really. But if you've got a loving, supporting partner, you're already there. Does that make sense? Plus, you've got to have someone to give your money to, right? You need your beneficiaries. So these are my little beneficiaries. There's Kai, my son, Ebony, and Rain. Rain's my favourite. Hey, happy to sell the other two, $10, 20, whatever you want. You know, they're getting into that teenage stage. We live down in Williamstown, right on the water. There's the Melbourne skyline, and it's a really beautiful place to be. Bit chilly, but, you know, everything I do, I pretty much do for my family. And the reason I retired from the military is because I needed to spend more time with them. Otherwise, I was just going to do another 20 years in the army, probably, because that's all I knew. And it is really hard to step out of your comfort zone, right? And some of you will step out of your comfort zone this weekend. And like doing the whole step off, you know, and you're flapping your wings, you're trying to fly, just go with it. Because when you feel uncomfortable, when you feel like you're stepping out of your comfort zone, that's where you're supposed to be. That's the exhilaration of life. That's growth. If you're just doing the same crap every single day, you'll always do the same crap every day. Make sense? Cool. So the two most important questions you have to always ask yourself regarding any program or anything is, what do you want? It's not what I want, not what any other business offers. It is what you want. These are the most critical questions that every single person needs to ask themselves regarding anything. You know, it may be fitness, it may be financial, it may be relationships. What do you want? But more importantly, why do you want it? And Eric stressed this big time this morning. Your why has to make you cry. If your why doesn't make you cry, don't even be here. Just be another person and exist, right? Just exist. But you've got to actually move. You've got to have passion, power and conviction to do it. And the only reason I've got where I've got to is purely because of that. A lot of my friends just think I'm a nutter. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I just know what I want for my family. Because my family, my inner circle is everything to me. Right? It's not about this. It's about what I wanted. And this here is about what you want. Yeah? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get you up. But first, before we do that, I know you've done some of these before, but they're very special in the fact that it allows you to, one, meet someone you haven't already met, but two, what I want you to do is I want you to write down how much money you would like to earn per month. Like, you know, as we just did before, those people want to earn $1,000 a month. What you would like to earn per month in 12 months' time. Right? So at the moment you'd like to earn $1,000 a month, but maybe in 12 months' time you want to earn $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month. But it has to be based off those two questions, what you want and why you want it. And if you write things down, you tend to actually move towards them, all right, because you'll focus on it. Then just take that little piece of paper, stick it on the back of the mirror with a bit of toothpaste, and it'll always be there in the bathroom, right? And it'll remind you of this moment. And these are the moments that actually account for things. So that's what I want you to do, and then they'll play some nice music. I want you to get up, like write down a piece of paper, exactly how much you'd like to make in a month. And then what I want you to do, once you've written that down, I want you to stand up, go to someone with the same colour hair as you. Now, if you're bald, you can go and see Eric. Oh, you're shaven head. That's right, you're not bald. So go to someone with the same colour hair as you and show them your amount and how much you'd like to earn in 12 months each month. Okay, do that now. Does anybody think that they... when you shared it with other people, did you find that some people had a bigger amount than you? Did you find that some people had a lesser amount than you? Who had that they wanted to make less than $5,000 a month in 12 months' time per month? No, none. Excellent. Excellent. What about $10,000-ish? Around that. A few people? Did anyone have more than around $20,000 a month? A good gap of people? What about $50,000, $60,000 a month? Excellent. That's me too. Did anyone have more than that? 20 million a month.
20 million for the year.
For the year.
I got a big plan, and it's got to do with homeless kids.
He's got a big plan. It's got to do with homeless children. So you want to make $20 million for the year, per year?
I need to cut through a lot of red tape in Europe where I am going.
Okay, good. Now, in order for that, what's your name, sir?
Florian.
Florian, welcome. Florian, lovely name. In order for Florian to make $20 million a year, do you reckon he's going to have to take some massive action?
Oh, yeah.
Or a little bit? Bucket loads of it. And do you reckon if he's got a strong burning desire and will to achieve that, he will?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. It may not, as I said, it may not take him the next year. It may take him a year or 2 years or 3 years. But if he's definite in his decision and his reason for doing it, there's no stopping him. You know what I mean? And you are all exactly the same. There's no stopping you doing anything. Absolutely anything. Mark my words. Right? I know what I'm talking about. Because I've seen soldiers step out of the gates of Kapuka, go and do a bit of training, learn how to fire a gun, and we've shipped them overseas. Right? 17, 18-year-olds. I know that they can do stuff because they feel good. They know. They've learned. They've got the knowledge. They've got the skills. And that's all it takes. A bit of knowledge, skills, and action. Yeah? You can do anything. So, is that what you want, Florence? Is that a good start?
Yeah, that's a good start.
Who'd be happy with that in the back shed? Exactly. And some people want to do it. Your want is you want more money. Some people who want us to travel as part of their financial future, do a lot more travelling. Who goes on a holiday 4 times a year? Hands up high. Excellent. Who goes on a holiday 3 times a year? Good. Twice a year. Everyone should have their hand up now. Who goes on a holiday once a year? So everyone else who didn't put their hand up and doesn't go on a holiday, put your hand up really high right now. Now turn around and slap the person next to you. Because if you're not travelling and you're not seeing the world that God gave us, what are you doing? You're making someone else rich. You're working so hard. Come on. That's all right. You're different. You want to make 20 million a year. You probably already make $1 million a month, right? Who just wants to travel more, take more family holidays? Exactly. That's what my vision board is. Camping trips, snow trips, tropical trips. Who just wants to give to others? Yep. And a lot of people have that. They would just want to help others. You know, and that's the best way to do it. Who just wants that?
The car.
The car. Who wants the blonde? There's always a couple of takers.
Too much headache.
Too much blondes? That's discrimination. He said blondes are too much headaches.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought...
Cars, I know. You thought cars. All right, so the way you think about money, guys, is firstly, you've got to have a really strong belief in money. If you've already got a negative association with money, you've heard it all, money's the root of all evil. You know, what's the root of all money, really? Money doesn't grow on trees, all of that sort of stuff that people tell you, no, you can't afford it. Maybe payday mum will be able to afford it, right? If your belief is negative already, then that will affect everything else. However, if you've got a really strong belief, even though you don't have any money right now, right, that will reflect in your results and the amount of action you take. Does that make sense? Right, so straight away, this book, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich book, can't see it there, but everything that Eric's been talking to you about today has to change your belief on money. As I said, even if you don't have any right now, it doesn't mean that you can't change your belief on it. It doesn't mean that you can't have $200 extra a week in a month's time or 6 months' time. You know, some of you have heard this stuff for years, but you're still here. You know what I mean? So your belief that you attach to money determines the amount of action that you put in towards changing your financial future, whether it's trading, whether it's buying property, which leads on to time and money, which leads on to the results. So the belief massively impacts the amount of action that you take, right? So for me, I had a very strong belief in money. I had bugger all of it, but I knew that I wanted to make a lot of it, and I knew that there were ways I could do it. I just had to learn how. I had to learn what ways to do it, and it wasn't until I had financial education that I learned how to structure a business, build an internet marketing business, buy and sell properties, start trading. I didn't know any of that in the military. I just knew how to train soldiers, you know, battlecraft, fieldcraft, drill squares, saluting, marching, blah, blah. You know, I didn't know any of these skills. But I made a decision and just did it because that was going to pay more money. So the amount of action I took was absolutely massive. It was unlimited because I wanted to make it faster because I was getting older quicker, right? So The amount of action you take depends on how much time or money you're going to spend on that strategy. Does it make sense? So if you go home, hard day's work, I might just flick on the TV, watch National Geographic, then I might watch true crimes, then I might watch a movie and go to bed. You know, that's not good use of your time because it's incongruent to your goal, right? You should get home, do your wifey bit, family bit, put them all to bed, and then start studying. Start watching a DVD. Even if it's just an hour or two a day, just a little bit a day, right? And then you'll just get the momentum. The money will come. Money's everywhere. $13 trillion floating around. You'll always find when you need it, it'll come. If you've got a flat tyre and you're dead broke, but you have to get the kids to school, don't you always find a way to get that new tyre? Money comes, right? It'll come. It'll be there. Ask for it. It'll come. But it comes back to your belief, right? You've got to believe that you can create whatever you want. Now, the amount of resources, which is time and money, that you put in will obviously reflect the results that you get out of whatever you did. Now, the results obviously support or challenge, again, your belief, right? And this is a universal belief quadrant. This is not new. This is everywhere, right? You can download this on YouTube. You can download documents on it. But that's in a nutshell. If you've got a strong belief in money, the amount of action determines ultimately the results. Right? Now, my results. This is my results. Because I had a strong belief in money. Now, last month, like a few years ago, one of my first major investments from Jamie's strategies, because there's hundreds in the home study, and you guys will get opportunity to get this as part of this program if you decide. One of them was buying a house is an investment property. And we all know that we buy investment property for capital growth or cash flow. Right? My husband was currently, or at the time, was overseas in the Middle East. And I was living in an army married quarter, right? So just like an army village, just with hundreds of other military people, right? And he went away. And what suddenly happened over the last 3 or 4, 5 years, a lot of soldiers were losing their lives, right? And a lot of my friends were losing either brothers, partners, husbands, which is very, very horrendous, right? I got to a point where I went, man, I don't have a house. I need a house. And the reason I need a house is because I've got 2 young children and I was also pregnant. And because I didn't want to keep paying rent, I had to rely on what the hell am I going to do if I suddenly get that phone call. You know the phone call? The chicks get being married to a soldier. And that is a very real thing. So I did whatever I needed to do to get that house. It was a great house, 5-bedroom. It was right next to Cottesloe Beach. It was beautiful. But that one investment, we ate tuna sandwiches and baked beans for 2 years after getting that house. But it was absolutely worth it. And I did it because my husband may not have come home and I needed to secure a place for my family just in case. Do you reckon that's a strong burning desire to do something? Oh, yeah. Right? Absolutely. And I did whatever it took. I sold things. I sold books. I borrowed money from my parents. I applied for like 8 different credit cards at one hit. I just did everything. Absolutely everything because I needed that house. And I got a guy that could negotiate a good deal from $700,000 down to $600,000 was what I bought it for. But like, you know, I had to go looking for these people. And rather than going, oh, I'll never afford it, I had to go, how can I get this house? How can I get this house? How can I get this house? Right? I just sold it last month, right? I bought it for $600,000, sold it for $1.45 million. And I just put that much money in the bank. Give me a round of applause for that. Now, how cool is it when I go to the ATM, take out my $100 and it goes 9999911, and I kept the slip, right? And I'm going to just frame it because that there was worth everything. Good story. My husband came home, right, and spewed, "Oh my God, what have you done, Lou? I can't believe you," you know, as men do, because he didn't see what I saw. But he's very grateful now, isn't he? Right? How happy is he now? But you know what? The reason I show you that is because it doesn't matter whether it's trading, business, property, whatever. You've got to do it for you. Because now the choices in my life, do you reckon they're massive now? Do you reckon the choices in my life has allowed me to open a trading account of $200,000 now to trade instead of, $5,000 here, $10,000 there? You know what I mean? I did not get lucky, baby. I got so not lucky. That was pure hard work. Yeah? Just like you have to do for your orphanage or for your school thing. So today what I'm going to go through now is just an overview of just one strategy that may help you achieve the things that you want to achieve. Now, it's Forex. Now, we have an amazing Forex trading team, right? And our research team is made of a group of traders from around the world. We've got about 4 or 5 different traders. And what they do is they provide signals, Forex signals, to all of our members, right? So the signal providers, they must firstly, in order for us and Jamie to select them to send signals to our traders, they need to be able to demonstrate that they actually know what they're doing. Does that make sense? We don't just want any cowboy who comes in. They need to actually know what they're doing and they need to provide the results. Right, so they are all given targets, specific targets that they've got to achieve, right, in order for them to be just focused on what our clients want. A team of professional traders, they trade different time zones. So they live all over the place. Some live, one guy lives in Switzerland, one lady lives in Byron Bay, another guy lives in the UK, one guy lives in the US. So we've got people everywhere, and obviously Kel, he lives locally down in New South Wales. So they're trading different strategies, different time zones, different currencies. So while you're asleep, they'll be trading a different time zone, which is good because you don't actually want to miss the trades that they're taking, right? So we're offering different trading styles, and they're just giving you, what we do is we'll give you a blend of signals, a blend of strategies. And you're going to learn how to trade these strategies anyway. But as far as a multiple group of traders, it's a professional team, and that's all they're focused on, is just selecting signals. Now, there's no other trading program that actually offers an automated signal service. Now, automated signal service is a subscription-based service where you get to access all of the signals. So imagine all of these big guns trading, providing SMS alerts and signals and trades, and all you have to do, if you wish, is you take them, right? Ideally, we want you to learn how to trade, but if you don't want to, for those people that are time poor or lazy, this is perfect for you guys, because some people come in and they actually don't want to learn yet. They're just happy to make the money off it, right? So that's what we can offer. Now, our chief financial strategist is Kel Butcher. Now, I'm going to bring Kel up shortly, but he is known as pretty much one of the greatest guns of trading in Australia, right? He's got 20 years trading experience, right? So do you think in 20 years he's learnt a lot about trading? Right, and he'll come and tell you his story. He grew up on a farm and he learned all about commodities initially, but I'll let him tell you about that. He's never really held a job ever. How cool was that? Not ever having to work because he learned how to trade at such a young age. He's a baby. When I bring him up, you'll just be surprised how young he is. Because that's all he's done. He's just learned how to trade, mastered it, learnt off other people, and now you guys get access to him. So he's an author of 2 books. He's a regular contributor to Your Trading Edge magazine, which is a leading trading magazine in the country. And he was also mentored and trained by another big professional named Larry Williams. Has anybody heard of Larry Williams before? Yep. Now, Larry is the ultimate trader as far as the world goes. He won a competition, a world championship trading competition back in the late 80s. Now, he turned $10,000 into $1.1 million. Right, and he's the only guy to actually do that live on stage. So if you ever got the opportunity to do that, to go and see Larry live in action in Chicago, he is one of Kel's mentors. So a lot of that stuff, and as I said, you know, you saw the people that I modelled off, right, modelled my businesses or modelled my strategies off, then obviously Kel does the same thing. He also mentors and coaches others. He's a consultant, a software developer, and he leads the Forex team that are in the Gold Coast. So these are some of the books that he's written: 20 Most Common Trading Mistakes and How to Avoid Them, a step-by-step guide to buying and selling shares online, and the Wiley Trading Guide, which has just been released. Now, he's actually writing a new book, which he can tell you all about that, and all of our members get access to that, and they're the magazines he actually contributes to regularly. So you'll see that we've got the Trader Inc. magazine out there. Make sure you guys grab a copy, because in that Trader Inc. magazine you'll notice that most of the articles have been written by Kel Butcher, right, and you'll get to meet him shortly. Okay, so Forex. What is Forex? Forex is just currency, exchanging currency. Forex is buying one country's currency and just selling another one at the same time. So it's like having a share in that country's economy. Now, this is the largest financial market in the world. In actual fact, it outweighs every other futures and stock markets 3 times over. Right? It trades about $3 to $4 trillion a day, daily turnover. And that's a lot of money. I'll show you a picture of what that looks like in a second. Now, it's got no physical location. It's just run electronically on a central exchange, which is great for you and I. People like you and I can now just trade online. Some people trade on their phone. Who's got an iPhone? It is so easy now to trade, whereas before you had to sit with at a desk, you'd have to ring your broker, you'd have to get him to place the trades, whereas now, thanks to technology and the internet since 71, it just makes it so much easier for everybody to trade. You know, you just need a computer, internet connection. It operates through just the large banks just doing business with each other. Right? Does anyone here trade currency at the moment? Foreign exchange? Not yet? In actual fact, you probably all do. You just don't even realise it. Or you participate in a financial transaction. So, for example, who's ever caught a plane? 1? 2 people. Oh, you're in Queensland. You don't need to go anywhere, do you? Right? You're in paradise. So who's ever travelled overseas? What's the first thing we do when we get off the plane?
Change money.
Change money. And what are we looking for when we're looking at the exchange rate? What are we looking for? The best rate. And why are we looking for the best rate? To get more money? To buy more girls?
Stuff.
Shoes. Girls buy more handbags. Who said crap? A male. Okay, what do males buy? Buy more beer. Oh, wheelbarrows, tyres. What would you buy, sir? Drills. So that's why you're looking at that all the time anyway. All right, especially the Australian dollar. Who keeps an eye on the Australian dollar? Where are we at the moment with the Australian dollar? Pretty good. Who hands up thinks we're pretty good at the moment? Who thinks now is a perfect time to actually buy stuff overseas? Yeah. No? Yes, absolutely. And Kel will be able to go through just the Australian dollar trades of recent. You know, it's perfect. I just bought a computer online from the US. Cost me $4,300. Right? In Australia, to get the same one built was going to cost me $6,300. I waited till our dollar hit parity, rang them up, had to stay up till 1:30 in the morning, and they went, hey, blah, 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 blah. Easy. Done, quick. Who's going to the Caribbean? Me too. I'm going. I've booked my flights. Did I wait? Of course I did. I waited till now because I waited till the dollar rose. Right? So when you're going to book a holiday overseas, it's good to understand where your currency is currently sitting. Does that make sense? Because why pay more? Kiwis, don't worry, girls. Your dollar will come up. It'll come up, I promise. So, I'm going to show you what $1 trillion look like. If you had $10,000 in your handbag, who's got $10,000 in their handbag? A couple of girls. Girls always have that much money in their handbag. That's what it looked like. But if you had $1 million, you'd have a block just sitting in your briefcase, right? If you had $100 million, you'd have a pallet. Who'd be happy with a pallet? A couple of guys. What about the chicks? What about 10 pallets? $1 billion in the back shed. Okay, so this is what just $1 trillion looks like. Yeah, you'd need a couple of warehouses. You'd probably need a hangar. Right, and look where the little man is. And that's double stacked pallets. That's just $1 trillion. Now, what does this market trade? Who remembers? $3 to $4 trillion a day. Right, and that's why this is the asset class of choice for millionaires and billionaires, is foreign exchange. Right? Foreign exchange. So why wouldn't you be doing it? 24-hour-a-day trading. You're not locked in to any other trading program. Market. For example, the Australian market. Some traders trade options, buy and sell stock. Awesome. However, you're still locked in from 9:30 a.m. till 3:30. Right? And then that's the end of your trading day. With a market where it just keeps going in and out, you select when you want to trade. Who's a night person? You may want to trade at night. Who's a morning person? Who's happy to trade any time? That's the thing. And you don't want to be locked in by set times. You want to be able to get there, work out a strategy. If your strategy is you're just going to take morning trades, get up, trade from 5 till 7 till 9 in the morning. If you just want to do night time, go from 5 p.m. till 9 p.m. Right, trade different markets. It doesn't really matter because it just follows the sun. And that is the most lucrative benefit, apart from the fact that it's $4 trillion and it's very liquid, right? That's why all the big guns, all the multimillionaires, the big companies, the big banks, they're just trading with each other. Why wouldn't you? It's a no-brainer as far as markets to trade, right? And it's one of the simplest markets to trade. Not necessarily easy, but it is very simple, right? Massive liquidity, as I said, trades about $4 trillion a day, so there's no waiting, right? There's no waiting to buy and sell your currencies. And it's accessibility. So, because all you need is your phone or your internet laptop, okay? Nice and simple.